And we got into talking about, he'd been living here for quite some time, you see, and we got into talking about why is family life in Thailand so important. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Alpha Omega Occasionally. If you're a regular viewer to the channel, you know that I put up, my last video that I put up, I actually took down within about an hour and a half. And I'm remaking that video now, and you'll understand why I had to if you stay tuned. Here's the deal. I made a video yesterday about family life in Thailand, which I'm going to reiterate again today on this video, but without the video sequence. In other words, the pictures that you saw if you did see that original video. I was asked to take that video down by my better half because I wandered through the house, not here in Bangkok, in Klong Luang, which is north of Bangkok, but 50 kilometers. I wandered into parts that were, let's say, out of bounds for the video camera as far as she was concerned. So I had to take it down because I was under instruction, so there you go. But the video that I made is, but here's the deal about the video that I made. These are the details. I was up in Klong Luang in the house that's owned by my wife with her entire family. And I mean, her 5 brothers, there was 4 out of her 5 brothers, their wives, her mother and their children, and obviously me and her and our kid. And it got a bit overbearing. When I say overbearing, it really got overbearing. We were sleeping in a room, well, not all of us. There was the brother-in-law, his wife and their grandchild sleeping in the same room as me, my wife and our son. And I had to use a screen that I bought in Big C about 2 years ago, a partition screen, these dressing things, the screens, like an accordion, they open out. I had to use one of them to afford ourselves some degree of privacy. If I hadn't have done it, nobody else would have done it. And in the video, while I was making the video, I pointed out the fact that I was looking for my flip-flops and I couldn't find them. And then I pointed the camera towards the main door of the house where all these shoes were, and I mentioned the fact that somebody else had taken my flip-flops and gone about their business around the garden, you see. And that happened to be my brother-in-law's wife. And that's not the first time that's happened to me. This is what I was saying about the actual Thai family. They live in a close unit, they're a nuclear family. And it is a beautiful thing, I suppose you could say, but when you're a Westerner involved in a situation like that, it can be like cabin fever almost. It really can. And you've no privacy whatsoever. There's a long room in that house that stretches 10 to 15 meters in length. And there's a bathroom and a shower room at the end, but there's no wall, there's no division. You walk out of the bathroom, walk out of the shower, and you're in full view of everyone sitting in that long room. I pointed all this out in the video. It's better to see it it would have been better to see it as I was talking, but as I said, I had to take the video down because it was encroaching on the privacy, you see. But I'm saying that there was no privacy because there was none. If you're wondering why this is the case, that traditional Thai, and I'm not saying all, I'm saying traditional Thai, my experience, and I always say I always say this on this channel, that it's my experience, it's not just statistics, it's my genuine experience. I spent Saturday night and all day Sunday until 6 o'clock in the evening in the presence of her family and all the in-laws, and it was overbearing. They were in every nook and cranny of the house, and it just, for me, it was frustrating. That's why I made the video at the time, you see. And I said in the video as well that I had met a Dutch guy in Soi 4 in Nana, and Soi 4 in Nana is incidental, by the way. We were sitting in a bar, an Irish bar, that at the time, I forget what it's called, I'm not even going to try and think of the name now, but there's an Irish bar in Soy4 and there's no girls, you see. It's like an oasis. You can sit there and watch the world go by, and that's what we were doing. We were sitting facing the street looking at the girls, blah, blah, blah. And we got into talking about, he'd been living here for quite some time, you see, and we got into talking about why is family life in Thailand so important? And we both reached the same conclusion, is that there's no social welfare in Thailand. And because of that, the Thai families have to take care of each other. The younger generation take care of the older generation, and it just keeps on going. Whereas in Europe, we have social welfare. If you don't have a house and you've got a family, the government would give you one. If there's free education, free health care, generally speaking. So in Scandinavia, they talk about it being from the cradle to the grave. But there's nothing like that here. Incidentally, when we had myself and my wife, we had Harry, our son. One of the reasons now I'm 58 and Harry is 5, so I'm 59 this year. So when Harry was born, I was 54. That's quite old. My wife is 3 years younger than me, so she's 51. So you can say to yourself, is that irresponsible to have a child that late in life? But no, not for her. You see, that's her social welfare. And that's what it is, and that's why all the family were together, because it's a community. The family life here is a community of they support each other, self-supportive community, and I am totally unused to that coming from the West, because your support comes from, well, okay, your family does support you, but I'm not saying that. But can you imagine spending a weekend with all your in-laws in a house with no boundaries? I mean, people taking your shoes and sleeping in the same room as 3 other family members, your brother-in-law and his wife and their grandchild. I mean, come on, with no division in the room, using the same bathroom. They have to cross the room, across the foot of our bed to go to the bathroom. I mean, come on. So that takes a lot of getting. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that it takes a lot of getting used to. And I'm back in Bangkok now, and I must say I love it. Look at the solitude. Listen, it's wonderful. Here, it's completely the opposite. These are the new Thais. The people who live in this complex are single, primarily girls actually, single 25 to 30 something year olds, more or less. And most of them live alone. And it's all very quiet, and nobody encroaches on anybody else. It's like Thailand is, somebody said it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, obviously I'm stealing that quote from something else, but it is true. You never know what you're going to get. It's amazing the contrast between here and that house up there. So I think, well, I'll put it into words. The traditional Thai family home belongs to everybody. I used to live in the mother-in-law's house, which is not too far from here, and we had a room in that house, and each room, the rooms aren't interconnected. Each room enters out, or the door leads out to the kitchen, which is outside, and people would come in without knocking. And there was a fridge. We had a fridge in our room. There was no fridge outside. The fridge was in our room. And her brothers, who didn't even live there, but they all lived within 1 kilometre of that house, they used to come into the room, go to the fridge, take out ice because they were having their beer, they put ice in their beer, but they'd never knock. And I said to my wife at the time, why don't they knock? And she said, they don't have to. It's their house. I said, but if you're a landlord and you rent an apartment, you don't just walk in to the apartment without knocking. But it doesn't seem to work with those guys, because that's the way they think. They think differently. So I don't know what your experience is of your Thai family. I love being part of the Thai family, but there's aspects of that which I don't love. And the aspect of that is I don't like the communal thing where everybody lives in each other's ear when it comes to going away for the weekend and the family home. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your experience is, because that's my experience. I'm sorry for taking that video down, the original one. Well, what can you do? She didn't like the idea that I walked around the house showing all in sundry. So there you go. So if you like this video, make sure, if you haven't done so already, you click that like button, click the share button, click the subscribe button. Do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.